again. Just driving on my way to work. Hope you guys can hear me over the road. But I did that video on my disagreeing with your family on the Constitution. And I was trying to think of ways to, like, you know, discuss your point of view on the Constitution, especially with somebody that has a opposing point of view. And I was thinking, you know, you always, you know, when you ask about the Constitution, most people, their first response, you go, you know, what do you know any of the amendments of the Constitution? And a lot of them will always say, oh, the First Amendment, or the Second Amendment, or even the Fifth or the Fourth. Like a lot of, you know, those are like actually more. Like most of the time people, I'm assuming, will always say the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech. And then everybody knows the Second Amendment, just because it obviously deals with something that most people, you know, have a lot of passion about, whether they don't like it or they like it. So, I'm waiting on a car. Whoop! Emails. Come on, dude, get going. So, I started thinking about this, and I was trying to argue, like, where they think the Constitution should be rewritten or amended or changed or whatever. And I want to, like, I've always wanted, like, instead of, like, coming back with an answer or a way to say no, I would want to figure out a way to make them think no, that they would not want that changed. Now, this is pretty much an impossibility, I would assume, but I was thinking that, you know, asking him, like, you know, I thought about, like, referencing the Bible, and, you know, it's just, I think it's just frivolous to have the Bible and the Constitution in the same context, because they're two different documents. Yes, they're very old documents. The Bible obviously is way older than the Constitution, but still, as for our country, the Constitution is one of the oldest documents that still holds ground in our society. So I was trying to figure out another way to reference the Constitution, and I first came to, basically, it fell upon the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Now, when you live in a totalitarian society, or a king or queen, or a socialist party or anything like that, you actually don't have freedom of speech. You can be thrown in jail for anything that you say and or do. You don't have that right. Yeah, you have the right to say what they think you should say, or what they permit you to say. You can say, I have this idea, I want to share it, and they can tell you yes or no. And if you go against what they say, you are now an enemy of the state or whatever. Now, I may be completely incorrect, so for those of you who disagree with that analogy or idea, go ahead and let me know down below. I don't know if I have any lawyers that listen to me ramble or not, and I don't even know if a lawyer would really know that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's like a law person, especially about our Constitution. But it falls upon the First Amendment. If the First Amendment was not created, people such as my cousin would not be able to say the things they want to say, no matter what. You wouldn't be able to voice your opinion on abortion. You wouldn't be able to voice your opinion on racism. You wouldn't be able to voice your opinion on how women are treated or abused, or children, or even the elderly, or even husbands. I mean, you would not be able to voice your opinion publicly. You wouldn't be able to go out on any kind of forum, whether it's a street corner or on your Facebook page. You would not have that right. You would be censored if it was something that was deemed unsuitable for the country. Okay? That's your First Amendment. That allows you to say whatever you want. Just like right now, I'm exercising my First Amendment, and I'm doing it peacefully, and I have every right to do it, and I am not breaking any laws whatsoever. Okay? Well, if the Constitution was able to be overturned or written or changed or amended, just that easily, I'm pretty sure the First Amendment would definitely be one of the first things to go. I mean, they've already tried to do it because of the internet. They want to censor the internet. That's freedom of speech, man. And the thing is when you are, you have the right to share whatever information you want, within reason. I know there's copyrights and stuff, so we're totally getting off track on that subject. But if you have a thought that's your own pure thought, you are allowed to share that with anybody to whom you choose, and to anybody that will want to listen or disagree or agree with you. Well, that's where the Second Amendment comes into play. Now, the Second Amendment doesn't actually say, I am here to protect the First Amendment. It's actually stating that it is going to protect us from government, outside influences that are basically tyrannical or against what our base ground of our Constitution is, or the rights that we have as American people. The Second Amendment is there to protect you from that, which also your rights fall under. Now, if you want to change that, are you willing to let the domino effect happen? For all those who think that you should be able to just freely change the Constitution, the Constitution is a very old document and still has a very, very large amount of clout over our government, and they've been fighting it for a long time because there's control that they want, and the Constitution does not allow the government to fully control us. We, the people, are actually supposed to regulate our own government. The government does not regulate us. So, that was my thought. If you want to rewrite the Constitution, you have to be ready for the domino effect, because if you take one right away, all the other ones are going to come following behind, whether it's in the right order or not. That's why it's called chaos. Nothing ever goes by the book. No matter what anybody tells you, just because you take away one thing doesn't mean that everything else will stay the same. Water is 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, or vice versa. But if you take one of those parts away, it's no longer water. Okay? I don't know if that's a nerdy enough analogy for you or not, but you can't take the sun away and expect the moon to warm the earth. Okay? So if you really want to take parts away of the Constitution, then you need to be prepared to sacrifice the other parts. And I think a lot of it falls upon the First Amendment. A lot of these people that are talking against the Constitution, speaking unconstitutionally, or at least against the Constitution. I don't know if unconstitutionally actually pertains to being against it. I think it's just basically not agreeing with it or not following what its guidelines are. You have to be prepared to lose other rights. So, alright. This is Trevor with High Desert Tactical. Let's end the conversation. You guys can pack it. Always be prepared. I gotta actually go do my 9 to 5. Pay 30% of it to the man. Take care, guys.